Yes, the ECB have just released a statement which says the entire England cricket team are isolating after 7 members of the squad tested positive for COVID. Now, those 7 members include 3 players and 4 members of management staff. I'll read you the statement, which has just been published. The ECB says, following PCR tests administered yesterday on Monday in Bristol, the ECB can confirm 7 members, 3 players and 4 management team members of the England ODI party have tested positive for COVID. In collaboration with Public Health England, Public Health Wales and Bristol Local Health Authority, those impacted will now observe a period of self-isolation from July the 4th, following the UK government's protocol on quarantine. The remaining members of the party have been deemed close contacts and they too will isolate. The ECB have confirmed that the one-day series and the T20 series against Pakistan will go ahead. Ben Stokes will return to England duties and captain the squad, which will be named in the next few hours. So just to pick the bones out of that, England's entire squad are in isolation after 7 members tested positive. The one-day series, though, does go ahead. So Ben Stokes, who broke his finger at the IPL, he's been recovering from that. He hasn't been part of the white ball setup for the Sri Lanka series. He's available to play. He'll captain the team. I'm just trying to think who else might be available. Alex Hales hasn't been part of the white ball team since he failed recreational doping tests in 2019. He could be called up. If he's not called up, you wonder if he's ever going to be called up. Dawood Malan was part of the one-day team, the white ball team, but he left the camp for personal reasons midway through the Sri Lanka series. He may be available, and then it's just fringe players. But the ECB are confident that the one-day and T20 series can still go ahead. Just to give you a bit of sort of context to this in terms of England's protocols, they haven't been observing as tight a bio bubble this summer as they did last summer when we were in the heat of that first wave. Then they were at hotels and cricket grounds in Southampton and Manchester and very much isolated to the team hotels and the biosecure environment. During this one-day series, it's been a bit different. They've had a COVID officer. So in Cardiff, for example, they could walk around Cardiff Bay. But then when they moved to Durham, because there was a higher transmission rate in the northeast, they weren't allowed to go to cafes and restaurants. Restrictions were a lot tighter. But essentially in Bristol, I would imagine, because that is, again, you're sort of in the southwest, aren't you, near Cardiff, they may have had freer reign and fewer restrictions. But clearly, somehow, this COVID variant, which is far more transmissible, isn't it, we've seen than previous variants, has got into the camp, and now the entire team is isolating. And it brings into question as well, I guess, how we move forward now with elite sport, because society is moving freely. We're now, as the vaccine rollout continues and nears completion, we're now looking at ways of living with COVID and managing with COVID. But elite sport still have to isolate. Elite sport is still having to deal with what happens when COVID gets into the camp. So this is a big moment now for the ECB, but I think also elite sport and how we move forward from this. But just to recap, England will name an entire new squad for their one-day series against Pakistan, the ODI series. And later today, Ben Stokes will be captain. We'll bring that to you as soon as we get it.